Hi, I'm Lacey, and today I'm going to show you how to set up your Google Analytics. This presentation is one that I created for the San Luis Obispo chapter of the SCORE Association. That's the Service Corps of Retired Executives. It's a really great nonprofit if you're getting started as a new business. So let's begin. My objective for you in this tutorial is to identify the 3 credentials you will need to operate Google Analytics effectively. I'm going to show you what they are, how to sign up, and how to activate them. Now keep in mind the activation can be a little bit tricky and sometimes it's going to be different than what you see here, but this should get you started. When we sign up, I strongly recommend that you use an administrative Gmail account. This is going to be something like yourbusinessname@gmail.com that you've created just for administrative purposes. Your clients will never use this address, no one will ever see it but you and anyone you hire to help you with your website. So if you hired someone to help you, let's say with your analytics setup, you'd be giving them this password and not your personal email or the one that your clients are using. The first place we're going to go is google.com/webmasters. Now, you should make a note that the Webmasters console is changing over to Search Console. It's the same thing, it's just a different name. So when you're going to this page, we're going to start by clicking on Sign in the upper right corner. And from there, you're going to go through a very short little tutorial, and then you're going to add your site. Now, you're going to want to remember that we're not going to verify it just yet. We're going to install Google Analytics first. So let me show you what it looks like. I'm at Google. I'm going to go to google.com/webmasters. Sign in is in the upper right hand corner. And I'm going to go ahead and say Start Now. And then if you've got an account already saved, it'll just proceed to the next step. I need to go ahead and sign in, so I'm going to do that here. And it's going to give me these other options about verifying it. I can say yes, that's great, next, done. So it says here, great, welcome to Search Console. To get started, select a property type. You have 2 options here. You want to be using the domain option. This does require verification, which again, we're going to do after we've set up some of the other steps. So my recommendation is to go ahead and pause here and use a new tab in your browser to keep going with the other steps. The next step is google.com/analytics. Again, there's a sign in the upper right hand corner. If it's your first time, it will ask you to sign up. Again, use that administrative Gmail that you've got. So I'm going to go back over to my web browser. Like I said, I'm going to open a new tab. And in that tab, I'm going to go to google.com/analytics. Okay, there's a lot going on here and they're improving the analytics website all the time. So this page may look different when you're doing it than when I'm doing it. So if you've never done it before, you're going to click on Start for free. If you've already got an analytics account, you can sign in to do your verification. But I want to show you how to get started. So Start for free. It's going to take me over here. I want to start measuring. Okay, now the Google Analytics setup is very redundant. It's going to ask you for your account name, your website name, the page name. It's really all the same thing. It feels redundant when you have only one website, but when you have 10 websites, it becomes very beneficial. So I'm just going to say right now my website name. You're going to put in your business name. Now, if I want to opt in for all of these things, I can leave them checked. I don't necessarily need to leave any of them checked. And I'm going to click Next. And this is for measuring my website. So I'm going to click Next. Again, my website name. This is redundant. You're going to put in your business name again. You're going to put in the URL of your website, select your category, set up your time zone, and click Create. Once you've got your analytics set up, you haven't installed it yet, that's going to be another step. But we're still setting up just the administrative accounts that you need. The next one is AdWords. Now, I have to warn you here, you do not want to go through the tutorial with AdWords. We did the tutorial with Webmaster, we did the tutorial with Analytics. We're not doing it with AdWords. If you do the tutorial with AdWords, it will require your credit card at the time of getting started, and you'll have to start an ad, which means you have to give Google money. This is not what you have to actually do in real life. You can click skip the guided setup and it will let you move forward with a free account. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to go into Google again, /AdWords, and I want to say start now. Now I'm already signed into Google on my other tab, so it's gone ahead and skipped me signing in, and it's gone ahead and moved me forward. Now, I want to skip this guided setup. Again, they change kind of what it says all the time, so now it says switch to expert mode. I'm going to say you're all experts because you're taking this tutorial with me. We're going to skip and go forward to the expert mode. It's going to ask me what kind of goals I want to set up. This is that trick again. I do not want to do the tutorial. So down here again, create an account without a campaign. Okay, now it's going to ask me what kind of location I have, time zone, currency. That's all great. Now I'm into the free version of Google Ads. Now I'm not saying you can make ads for free, but what I am saying is you can use the tools in here, and the important one we need for analytics is for your keywords. So now we've got that set up. The next piece is going to be actually installing Google Analytics on your website. So go back to your tab that has Google Analytics in it, and we're going to have some sort of a dashboard like this showing. You do this one first as far as the verification goes. So in here, I'm in my dashboard. In my upper left corner is where I select my website if you need to do that, if you have multiples. Otherwise, it's going to have you in here already. You won't have any data yet, and that's okay. But what we need to do is go down into our admin. It has the settings gear, bottom left corner. And in here I need to go to my property settings. What I'm looking for is called a UA number. So here's my tracking ID, and it has my UA number for this website. This UA number is going to be installed in your website. You have to go to your content management system and actually install this piece of information. Now this is where it gets complicated because all of you have different websites. You're using WordPress, you're using Squarespace, you're using GoDaddy, Vistaprint. All of these different website content management systems have different procedures to install this UA number. The best thing I can recommend for you here is to go back into YouTube and Google or search in YouTube for your content management system and how to install Google Analytics Tracking ID. So if I was using WordPress, I would go to YouTube and search WordPress install Analytics Tracking ID, and that's going to give me a video that shows me a quick tutorial of exactly how to do this. I'm going to tell you it's usually in the settings of the website itself, where you would edit things like the domain or the main color or your logo. That settings area is where you're going to find installing the tracking ID. If you're not sure how to do that, there are other ways to do it as well, but they don't work the way you're going to want them to. You want to use this UA number and install that into your website. If you use WordPress, the one that I recommend is using a plugin to install your Google Analytics. I like one called Exact Metrics. They do have a free account, and using this will go ahead and link up to your Google Analytics and install that UA number for you. There are lots of other plugin options inside of WordPress to use. This happens to be the one that I like. After I've finished installing Google Analytics and I've put the UA number into my website and I've got that all linked, I can come back over to my Search Console and finish verifying here. Now with the new Search Console, it's a little bit different than it used to be. I would put in my domain, and I have to verify it with my DNS provider. This is where you purchased your domain from. So something like GoDaddy.com, cheapdomains.com, IONS1 and 1, all of these where you purchased your domain is how you'd verify this. So if I used GoDaddy for this domain, I'd click Start Verification. It would ask me to log into my GoDaddy account. It would pull the information that it needs, and the verification would be complete. If I don't have access to this, I can try the URL prefix property instead, which is the option here on the right. The problem with this is that you have to add in every version of your website. So here it's got the https://chickadita.com. I would also want to have it in there without the security, http no s, chickadita.com. I would want it with www.chickadita.com. I'd want it with the s with the www. I think you get my point. You have to put them all in individually. It takes longer and it isn't nearly as seamless as it is the other way around. But this has more options for you as far as verification goes, and one of the options is to verify it using Google Analytics. That's why you want to put the Google Analytics code in first, then come back and do this. So I'll say continue. It's going to verify the property. Because I'm already signed in to Google Analytics with the same Gmail, it's doing this for me automatically. So then I'm going to download a file. I can put in a tag, or right here use Google Analytics. So I would select this one, Google Analytics, click verify. I'm not going to do that at this moment because I've already verified this one. But what I am going to do is go back into my Google Analytics, and I want to make sure when this is done that my Search Console is linked to my Google Analytics correctly. I do that by going back into Google Analytics. If you're still with me, you're on the same tab that has your property settings. I'm going to go down here to All Products. It's got a link. So what I'm doing is All Product Linking. And at the very bottom of the options is Search Console. I'm going to click on Link Search Console, and it's going to have me verify that I'm signed into it, and then I would click Done. So it's really easy to do this by being signed in again with that one Google Gmail administrative email account and being signed in at the same time. It just hops me right through. So once that's done, the last step is for your Google AdWords. Now it's in the same place. It's in your admin under your property, linking all products, and you have Google Ads, and you can link your Google Ads account here. This is going to be really beneficial for you when you do keyword searching. So I would say I want this one, click continue, and it would go ahead and link me up. By doing this, I can link and get information about search queries that are happening organically or people that are using my ads, and the difference between who's using my ads and who's not using my ads, and all of that will flow into your one portal, which is Google Analytics. And that's why we take the time to set up all of these different accounts and put them all in one place. Even if you're not using all of the tools right now, you'll use them at some point in the future, and by having the data start filtering in early, you'll have a lot more options later on. So I hope this was helpful for you. Stay tuned. I'll have another tutorial and we'll go through some of the reports.